on this call. This man is incredible. Now, just doing an organic search. Now, think about this. Out of the top speakers, like people like Zig Ziglar, who passed away, bless his heart, but had 4.1 million reach. Miles Monroe, 2.2 million reach. Of course, he's gone. Michael Beckwith, T.D. Jakes, 6 million reach. Joel Osteen, 9.8 million. Deepak Chopra, 22 million. Wayne Dyer, even Tony Robbins at 31.8 million. Lisa Nichols, 31.8 million. Brian Tracy, 58 million. But Eric Thomas is the highest at 253 million. And then comes the king, Les Brown, at 2.2 billion reach organically, simply because of his story and how he's been touching lives across the globe. And so, my friend, you're about to hear from Mamie Brown's baby boy, Mr. Les Brown. You got to be hungry. Les, take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, champ.
Okay, very good. I'd like to say good morning to everybody. I do regret missing you last week, but I'm back this week. I want you to know I have cancer in a chokehold. I beat cancer butt so bad the cancer rate in my neighborhood has dropped by 90% because of my punching it out and because of your prayers. So I thank you very much. Up it here, up it here. I want to share with you this morning. I want you to think about something that's very important to you. I'm talking to you from Miami, and it's unusual that I come to Miami. I travel all over the world. I've spoken in over 51 countries, and I remember I started reflecting, preparing for this call, that as I was thinking about when I left here on a Greyhound bus, my mother had prepared for me a pot of marinade. Listen to this, marinade frog legs. I was going to Dallas, Texas, to be exposed to some training by a guy named Ed Foreman, and I had resigned from the Ohio legislature in Columbus, Ohio, when I got a call from my mother about my mother, and my sister said, "Leslie, are you sitting down?" I said, "What's wrong with Mama?" And she said, "Mama has breast cancer." And I had just gotten elected to the Ohio legislature. My third term, I was the chairman of the Human Resource Committee and the Education Committee, and I had passed 14 bills my first term. And I remember, as I was thinking this morning and last night, looking at a picture that my sister sent to me, that my staff and everybody in Columbus said, "You can't leave now." And I said, "Listen, I like politics, but I love my mother." And I had promised my mother that if anything ever happened to her, I would be there for her. I resigned from the Ohio legislature. I came back to Miami to take care of her. And a lot of people couldn't understand that. But the reason that they couldn't understand it, it wasn't their dream. My dream was to find my mother home and to take care of her. And so I decided to honor that. I want you to think about your dream. Think about something that's important to you. I remember when I first rung the doorbell, and a friend of hers named Miss Mildred was there. And I heard her say, "Mamie, Leslie's here." I could hear my mother say, "I knew he would come. I knew he would come." How many of you have someone that you love, someone that's been there for you? I want you to think about that person, someone that you'd like to do something special for. I'm one of 7 children that my mother took in as foster kids and ultimately adopted. I was born in an abandoned building in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor with my twin brother, Wesley. And Mama, who was 46 at the time, she took us in. She only had a 3rd grade education, but she had a PhD in motherware. She worked for wealthy families on Miami Beach. She cooked for them and ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. These are very kind and generous people. They would say, "Mamie, whatever food we have left over, you can pack it up and take it home to those children that you have adopted. And she kept her children, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. And my golden dream as a kid walking around these big, beautiful mansions on Miami Beach was to buy my mother a home. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. Somebody texted me yesterday from California, a guy who is vehemently opposed to entrepreneurship in terms of multi-level marketing, and said, why are you interested in Uplyftt? Well, just in the name alone. That we're living in a time where people need to be uplifted. Day before yesterday, my oldest daughter, Ona Brown, you go online, she spells her name O-N-A, Ona Brown. She is a speaker and a trainer. Her first cousin on her mother's side, 13 years old, committed suicide. 13 years old. Yesterday, my great-great-granddaughter was released from Children's Services Suicidal Watch in Columbus, Ohio. This is the great-great-grandniece. This is the niece of my son's daughter. 8 years old. She went to school, and because of the abusive, dysfunctional situation that she lives in, she told the teacher that she didn't want to be here anymore. And so the teacher asked her, what school do you want to go to? She says, no, I don't want to live anymore. 8 years old. 8 years old. And so when we think about this time where we live, there's more stress. This time where we live, there's more drama. This time where we live is unlike anything we have ever seen before. I've known Dr. Stan Harris for quite a while, and he's a person that I've always admired his work, helping people to get breakthroughs, to begin to face the challenges that they face mentally and emotionally and spiritually and financially. He's a person that I've always admired because he's unstoppable, and we have a passion for helping people to change their lives. And so I want to talk to you about how to begin to change your life and impact the people that are around you. And as I reflect on that, thinking about my own life, today I'm taking some friends by Douglas Elementary School here in Miami, where I was identified in the 5th grade as educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade and failed again when I was in the 8th grade. And then I'm driving by Booker T. Washington High School, which looks dramatically different than when I went to Booker T. Washington High School. It looks like a college campus, but it looked like when I was there. It has expanded. I used to live behind the school. You know, I don't know if you've ever had the experience. It is shocking when you had lived someplace as a kid and you come back and it's gone. Where I used to live is now a basketball court. But I said, what happened to our house? It's called progress. But when I was at Booker T. Washington High School, I met a gentleman that had the kind of energy and vision and drive and inspirational style, such as Dr. Stan, Mr. Leroy Washington. I'll never forget, I walked in his room, and he said, young man, and he gave me a script. He said, go to the board, and I want you to work this out. He wanted me to show my interpretation of that script, and I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. I just here to see MacArthur Stevens. He said, go and do what I'm asking you to do anyhow. And I said, I can't, sir. And the other students started laughing. They said, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. He said, well, what's DT? He's the dumb twin. And they erupted in laughter. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk, and he looked at me. And he pointed at me and he said, "Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." And at that moment, I had a breakthrough. At that moment, he interrupted my story about myself. And I'm going to share with you about the power of story and how to tell your story. And he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, "Look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be." And that was a major breakthrough in my life. And I believe that Uplyfft, I believe that those of you that's on this call, as much as you have chosen to be a part of this movement, that you were chosen for it, because you were born for such a time as this. I believe that you were created on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. And so I want you, number one, to think about a goal that you want to achieve, a dream that is important to you. My first goal was to buy my mother a home. I want you to think of that dream. And I want you to write down, dream big. And the reason that I'm requesting that you do that is because I found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss, but most people fail in life because they do what I did, aim too low and hit. And many people don't aim at all. And what is that big dream of yours? It might be to buy your mother a home. It might be to get another job. It might be to have more time for yourself and your family. It might be to be financially independent. It might be to travel around the world, and as I do, fly first class, live in 5-star hotels, and have somebody pay for it. I don't know what your dream is, but make it a big dream, all right? And the next thing is, I want you to think about your financial freedom number. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. Oh, behave, whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't take my medication yet, but anyhow. What is your financial freedom number? That when you eliminate that debt, that you alleviate a lot of stress in your life, that you have a lot of choices, that you'll be able to do things for family members and friends, that when they're in distress or going through a crisis, that you can do more than just pray for them. I want you to think about that financial freedom number. Next thing is, I want you to think about your social contribution. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. I believe that we're all here to make a difference, to make our impact. My daughter, Ona Brown, she called me one day and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm at the desk and I'm looking at some things I'm working on." And she said, "I'm at a red light. There's a police officer in the middle of the street and he's directing traffic." She said, "Obviously, a funeral is about to come by." Then all of a sudden she said, "Whoa, oh my God, oh my God." I said, "What happened, Ona? Was it an accident?" She said, "No." She said, "A hearse came by and there was only one car behind it." She said, "Daddy, when I go, I want my life to be so powerful, so influential, so impactful that traffic will be backed up for hours. I want when I go, because of the difference that I made in life, that people would pack the cemetery to celebrate my life." I said, "I understand, baby. I understand. I want you to think about your legacy. What is it you want to do?" I'm 74 now. I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 74, I feel like I was a waiter at the Lord's Supper. I'm older than dirt. Oh my God. You know, I tell you, this thing called life. Betty Davis said, "Old age ain't for wimps." She didn't lie. I used to go out and go to look for where the party was. Now I'm looking for where there's restroom. Okay, all all right. Okay, I'm sorry. So anyhow, I want you to think about what your legacy will be. And I want you to write down that one goal, that dream, that big dream that's beyond your comfort zone. And then I want you to write this down, reinvent yourself. And the reason that I say reinvent yourself, that people don't live life as it is. They live life as they are. In order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. So as you think about your goals and dreams, what radical change must take place in you for you to do that? What radical change? Because the you that you know right now won't do it. You've got to die to who you've been to give birth to who you were chosen to become. And you have greatness in you. And when you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know what your limits are, so you act like you don't have any. And when I want to warn you, when you're pursuing your greatness, when you're pursuing a big dream, just like this call starting out, just like last week when I wasn't able to make it, that things happen. Things happen. When you get on a plane, before they take off, they say, fasten your seatbelt. Why? Because we're going to experience some turbulence before you reach a comfortable altitude. That when you have a goal or a dream that's beyond your comfort zone, when you're reaching higher, that all hell is going to break loose. So why? I don't know. It's called life. My favorite book says, think it not strange that you'll face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. Things are going to happen to you. A guy named Dimples had a song years ago that said, if it ain't one thing, it's another. And you're building a business so that you can have control of your personal economy. And this time, where the Department of Labor says that over 20,000 people are losing their jobs every day to artificial intelligence, to robots and technology, that you've made a decision that you're going to take charge of your life. But the majority of people that you talk to, they're going to say, no, oh, that's a pyramid. They're going to say, no, I'm not interested in that. Oh, what kind of quick get rich quick scheme is that? You're going to get a lot of rejection. 85% of the people that you talk to are going to say, no, I'm not interested in that, even though they need it. And however, this is not a business for people that need it. This is a business for people who want it. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. And so you are involved in a process that to help people to live their dreams, dream big, and who are willing to reinvent themselves, to be trained and develop a level of awareness and discover things about themselves that they don't know. That's something that Dr. Stan does extremely well. I'm sure you've had experience, and I did the other day. I was talking to a brother that his breath was smelling like Bruce Lee. You know, it wasn't purposeful. He didn't know. You know, psychologists call it scotomas. You know, I backed up and he stepped forward. I said, "Oh Lord and Jesus." And so we need people that can help us see things about ourselves that we can't see. You can't read the label when you're locked in the box. The next thing is you think about your goals and dreams. Not only must you have a big dream and to dream big, but you have to engage in an ongoing process to reinvent yourself. I want you to go online, and for 90 days, I want you to watch these 3 videos. 1, It's Possible by Les Brown. It's a PBS special that I did in Chicago. 2, You Deserve. It's an Emmy Award-winning PBS special that I did called You Deserve. And 3, Les Brown Speaking in the Georgia Dome, where I'm speaking to over 80,000 people. And anybody that you bring in the business, you want them to watch it too. Why? Because with all of the negative things that's impacting the collective consciousness of people in your community, in the state, across the country, and around the world, it's causing mental dysfunction. And so, they say garbage in, garbage out. No, garbage in, garbage stays, and it stinks and affects your attitude. And I'm encouraging you to take a mental diet. Turn off the news. Don't watch the news. Why? It's not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. There's drama happening every day. And as you look at yourself, look at your goals, here's what's important, and I can share with you what has changed my life dramatically. Principles that you're going to learn from Dr. Stan is that if you don't program your mind will be programmed. And so those 3 videos, It's Possible, You Deserve, and the speech in the Georgia Dome, It's Not Over Till You Win. And then I want you to write down 7 things that you're grateful for. 7 things that you're grateful for. When you first get up in the morning, think about it. People say, boy, this is a bad day today. I think every day is a good day. If you don't believe it, try missing one. So I want you to write down 7 things that you're grateful for. And then write down 7 things that you want to get out of the day, that you want to achieve, that would move you in the direction of your goals and of your dream, of your big dream, of your financial dream, and your social contribution. Write down 7 things, action steps that you're going to take. This is an agenda for your day. See, most people are just trying to get through the day. As a leader, as a person who's helping to change people's lives, as a messenger of hope, and you want to be the message as well as the messenger, you want to have an agenda for your life, because if you don't have an agenda for your life, you'll be a part of somebody else's life. I went on a Greyhound bus, Dallas, Texas, pursuing how to learn how to become a motivational speaker. I had an agenda for my life. Mama fixed me some marinated frog legs. By the time I got there, they called me Frog Man. I hopped down the aisle on the bus and hopped into the terminal. But nobody knew, because I was willing to pursue this dream. Nobody knew, including me, because I was willing to retrain my thinking and listen to people like Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Jim Rohn and Bill Bailey and Zig Ziglar. If you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. Nobody knew, including me, that from that time to this time, because I was willing to do what you're doing now. You have a big dream. You're willing to engage in a process to redevelop yourself, that I would be able to speak to people around the world. There are things that you can do, things that you're capable of, and things that you can help others do that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you and for them. The next thing is step out of line. That's very important. My favorite book says, be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. When I was coming up, I didn't see tattoos on people. I did not. It was not popular. And because we incarcerate more people in America than any place else in the world, 1 out of 4 people have been incarcerated. When you're in prison, you can't write on the walls. That's a penalty. But you can write on each other's bodies. And so many people have been incarcerated that the underground has now become mainstream. People are influenced by their environment. They're influenced by what they see. As you think about your goals and think about your dreams, step out of line. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Henry David Thoreau said, do not go where the path may lead. Go where there's no path and leave a trail. Step out of line. You're deciding to become a digital entrepreneur, to be involved in helping people to embrace technology in this era of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. Social entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs, using their skills, their knowledge, and how they can begin to control their own personal economy, because the 40-40 plan is gone, where you can go to college, graduate, get a job, work for 40 years, and then retire in 40%, which wasn't enough in the first place. That day is gone. Now you show up. You've stepped out of line, and you've decided to become a part of Uplyftt. You've decided to help people to get a larger vision of themselves beyond their circumstances and mental conditioning. You've decided to help people to realize that they have something special, they have greatness in them. And as a result of becoming a part of this movement, that you're going to save lives. Every time the unemployment goes up 1%, 10,000 women are beaten and battered. The suicide rate in the United States of America, from 1999 to now, the suicide rate, and it's a shame, in the United States of America, where people try and outswim sharks to get here, where people risk being separated from their children and gone and go to jail. Suicide rate has increased over 30%. You're giving people hope. You're giving people hope. And so as you look at yourself and look at your goals and dreams, what are you introducing people to? I want you to write this down. Accountability partners. You're bringing people into a community of accountability partners, collaborative, achievement-driven relationships that will hold them accountable, that will coach them and teach them how to develop their skills and their knowledge by creating an environment. When you give people a chance to be in a positive, nurturing, collaborative, achievement-driven relationship with you and others, you will begin to reduce the incarceration rate. You'll be able to reduce the suicide rate. You'll be able to impact the collective thinking of people and reduce the number of people who feel helpless and powerless and hopeless in this time where we are right now. Because when you're in a positive environment, that gives you hope. And when there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. When you have people around you that's holding you accountable, and trust me on that, Dr. Stan will do that. That increases your chances of you reaching your goals over 42%, because he holding you as an accountability partner to a higher standard than you hold yourself will challenge you and stretch you, and you discover a part of yourself that you don't know right now. And the next thing, whatever goal and dream that you have, I encourage you, never give up. Never give up. I went to dinner last night with my brothers and sisters, and I remember as we were sitting there, every year they would ask me, Wesley, when are you going to make it? And I said, this is my year. And my twin brother Wesley would say, you said that last year. I said, but this year is different. And he said, you said that the year before that. What is going to happen, Wesley? You're going to have naysayers in your life. Trust me on that. You're going to have people that will criticize you. There's never been a statue erected to a critic. And you're going to have setbacks and disappointments and failures and rejections. Willie Jolly was right. A setback is a setup for a comeback. And I remember Mama saying, leave that boy alone. When does the baby walk? It walks when it walks, and some walk sooner than others. Leave him alone, Wesley. Margaret Ann, when does the baby talk? It talks when it talks. When will he live his dream? He'll live it when he lives it. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. And so I'm encouraging you, put your head down, to work, to build a strong foundation for 2 years. Don't look up to see how far you've come. Build a strong foundation. Don't look to the right. Don't look to the left. Dr. Sand, he knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. He's been very, very successful in this business and motivating people and building a business, building an organization. And he will teach you how to build a strong foundation. If you go outside right now, you can find some pigeons. Oh, they're everywhere. But you're looking for eagles. You're looking for eagles. That's different. And you're different too. And I want to warn you, it's lonely at the top. Isn't it interesting how you can be raised in the same circumstances, same environment, same household, and end up dramatically different? I'm as different from my twin brother and my brothers and sisters as day and night. It's lonely at the top, I want to warn you. It's lonely at the top, but you eat better. Oh, behave, whatever. But I can assure you that this movement that you have become a part of, that you have said, yes, I'm going to do this, that you're going to be able to not only change your life, but change the lives of millions of people. That this is a time that people need hope more than ever before. This is a time that people are looking for an opportunity that could make a difference in their lives. This is a time that you want to operate out of the thinking of Henry David Thoreau, who said, do not go where the path may lead, but go where there's no path and leave a trail. I will be on Miami Beach today driving by a WMBM radio station. I'll never forget when I was working for the Miami Sanitation Department, and I was going down 56th Street where Mr. Washington lived, and we had to collect garbage on his street, and I had the assignment to collect the garbage on his side of the street. I didn't want him to see me and smell the stinking garbage that I was putting on the truck in this big container. And so I didn't want to stop in and say hello. So I held the garbage can on the right side as I passed his window, and something happened. I guess he was looking at television, and he looked outside. He heard the garbage collectors, and he said, Leslie Brown? I kept walking. The guy said, hey, man, this guy calling you. Leslie Calvin Brown? I said, just keep walking. Mr. Brown. And I stopped. I said, yes, sir. Just a minute. And I emptied the trash into the truck. And he came down off his steps. He looked at me. He said, how are you? I said, fine, sir. How's Miss Edith? Said, she's doing good. Why don't you come in and say hello? Look at me, sir. I'm smelling of garbage. I didn't want to come in your house smelling like this. But we got to go now. But I hope all is well for you. He says, no, just a minute. What happened to you? He said, would you guys like to have some ice water? And I said, no, we don't have time. And the driver said, oh, yes, we would love to. I said, oh, my gosh. And he said, Edith, Leslie's out here. Give these guys some ice water. And his wife came outside with some ice water and gave us a few mangoes. And I knew the question was going to be asked. What happened to you? I said, what do you mean, sir? You know what I mean. You're the first student in special education that I got a scholarship for at Florida A&M University in speech and drama because of my connections there. And I saw the papers where you signed that to somebody else. What happened? Why did you do that? They told me that I was not college material. I met with one of the instructors who told me it would be a waste and I would bring embarrassment to your name. I couldn't risk that, sir. You're the only person to believe in me other than my mother, and I never wanted to be an embarrassment to you. You really, unbeknownst to you, have been like a spiritual father to me. He said, did you believe that you could make it at Florida A&M University? I said, to be honest with you, sir, not without you. And he said, Mr. Brown, I know it takes you longer than other people to get things. I know that you're slower than most people, but what I also know, you've always been hungry. You were relentless. Once you set your mind on something, you will do it. He said, and I'll never forget this. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. But Dr. Stan is going to challenge you. Dr. Stan is going to stretch you. Dr. Stan is going to encourage you to go beyond your comfort zone. And sometimes you might not even like it because it's uncomfortable. However, there will come a time that you will appreciate him because he sees something that you can't see at this time. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And he saw something in me. And he said, Mr. Brown, you have greatness in you. You have greatness in you, boy. You have greatness in you. And he turned and he went in his house. And that stayed in my mind. Here I'm standing in front of him, this hot, burning sun in Miami, and a garbage truck behind me, and smelling of garbage. And he says to me, I have greatness in me. I got back on the truck. The guy said, why are you crying? I said, I'm not crying. It's just tears of gratitude. I'm grateful for what he said to me. And when he said those words, it expanded my mind. When he spoke those words, he touched my heart. And shortly thereafter, I went by his house and we had a conversation, and he said, here, take my card. You told me once you wanted to be involved in radio, and I said, yes, sir. Is that still something you want to do? I said, yes, sir. Go to WMBM radio station. Ask for Milton Butterball Smith. He's the program director. They call him the voice of the South, the mouth of the South. Tell him that I sent you. And I said, thank you, sir. And he said, and remember. I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? You got to be hungry. I said, yes, sir. I said, why do you keep saying that? People that are hungry, Mr. Brown, are unstoppable. People that are hungry, Mr. Brown, are relentless. People that are hungry, Mr. Brown, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. You've got to be hungry. I said, I'm hungry, sir. I'm hungry to take care of my mother. I'm hungry, sir. I'm hungry. And I went to WMBM radio station. Milton Butterball Smith was the program director. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to become a disc jockey. He said, young man, you have any journalism in your background? I said, no, sir. You have any experience in broadcasting? No, sir, I don't. But let me audition for you, sir. I've had a vision of being a disc jockey. I've been practicing, and I see myself on radio. Just give me a shot. Let me show you what I've got. And he said, no. And if you know what it's like to be rejected, your first rejection is devastating. I went back and I said, Mr. Washington. He said, no. He said, that's okay. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I came back the next day, looking at him like I was seeing him for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir. Then why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. No, nobody was laid off or fired. Now, get on out of here. I came back the next day. talking loud, looking happy, like I was seeing him for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to become a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you know the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir, you did. He said, why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. No one got sick or died. No one was laid off of fire. Let's get on out of here. And then I came back the next day. Talking loud once again. Looking happy. Walking with a little dip. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to become a disc jockey. He looked at me with rage. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. I bowed to him, and I went and got him some coffee. My favorite book says, the greatest among you will be your servant. As you think about building this business, it's very important that you serve people. Don't approach people about becoming a part of the business. Build a relationship with them. Find out who they are. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Ask them questions. People can smell commission breath. They don't want to be treated like a transaction. Get to know them. What's stressing them out? What is it that they want? What's their big dream? What is it that's in their heart? And as a result of that, you'll be able to create an interest and a thirst in what it is that you have to offer. There's no saying you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. However, if you are able to communicate strategically with your story, you can create a thirst where they want to drink. And I can share with you, that's real. If I had not learned how to tell my story, things that I learned from a gentleman, I want you to write this down, Mike Williams. He wrote a book called The Road to Your Best Stuff, The Road to Your Best Stuff. Met him in Columbus, Ohio. Walking down the steps at Champion Junior High School, I used to go watch him speak. I wrote the foreword for this book, The Road to Your Best Stuff. Because of what I learned how to tell my story, the Dr. Stan will teach you how to do that. When I speak in the United States, I earn over $70,000 an hour because I learned how to tell my story and was coachable. When I speak internationally, I get $225,000 an hour. And I'm saying to you, I don't say these things to impress you, but to impress upon you with the kind of leadership that you have and the movement that you're a part of. And the top coach, I feel, on the planet, Dr. Stan. You can learn how to tell your story, to recruit people, to bring out the best in people, to motivate and inspire people to pursue their greatness. And so I became an errand boy at the radio station. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd stand in the control room knowing my time will come. I want you to write this down. This is my winning season. I want you to write that down. I want you to get a 3x5 card when this call is over. Go to Walgreens or CVS, get a 3x5 card, and write at the top, this is my winning season, number one. Then number two, write down the major goal that you're going to accomplish in 2019, the year of your dream. Like I had on a 3x5 card, I give thanks. I purchased a home for my mother, fully furnished and everything paid for. And I had a picture of the house that I was going to buy for my mother. Get a picture, whatever you want, and read it a minimum of 3 times a day. Why? There's a lot of noise out here, a lot of distractions out here. Keep thine eye single, and thy whole body will be full of light. I was calling a friend the other day, and at the same time I was calling him, he was calling me. Has that ever happened to you? Our thoughts have magnetic power, so you have to focus your mind. Read that a minimum of 3 times a day. And on the flip side, read Matthew 7:7. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be open. For everyone that asketh, receiveth. He that seeketh, findeth. And to him that knocketh, it shall be open. And so, as I was working at the radio station on the weekends, I wanted to prove to them I was a go-to person, a resourceful person. I was building relationship capital. I would wax their cars and clean it inside out. They would come outside. Hey, who did this? They were impressed with the work I had done. I said, I did, sir. How much you charge, young boy? Oh, nothing, sir. I just wanted to help out. I said, whoa. I said, look here. They gave me their car keys. They said, listen, Donna Ross and the Supremes are coming to town. The Four Tops and the Temptations. I want you to pick them up when they come in and take them to the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami Beach. I said, it'd be my pleasure to serve you, sir. I would drive these entertainers all over Miami Beach in the disc jockeys, big, long Cadillacs. I didn't have a driver's license, but I'd drive it like I had to. And then one day, a Saturday afternoon, a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. Rockin' Roger got so drunk he couldn't complete the show. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was the only one there looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd have go and get him some more if he'd asked me to. And then pretty soon the phone rang. It was a general manager and answered the phone. I said, hello? I said, young boy, this is Mr. Clyde. I said, I know, sir. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs to come in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now, you must think I'm crazy. I called my girlfriend, Cassandra, and said, y'all come out and listen to the radio. Come out on the front porch. I'm about to come on the air. People used to come out on the porch and have the radio blasting loud like young people in the cars today. And then I helped old Rock get out of the control room. I went back in the control room, and there's a brand new song. These millennials don't know anything about this. By Stevie Wonder. It was called Fingertips. I put that on. I said, look out. This is me, LB Triple P. Les Brown, your platter playing Papa. There was none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, and indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. And so, as you look at your goals, look at your dreams. You got to be hungry. People that are hungry believe do what you know, not what you feel. People that are hungry have a cause that's bigger than themselves. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. People that are hungry know their vitamin. You will face a lot of rejections. But people that are hungry know that every no brings you a step closer to a yes. I don't know you. I can't see you. But here's what I know about you. You're not cut from the same cloth. Here's what I know about you. If you did not know in your heart of hearts that you could do what I've done and what Dr. Stan has done and others, you wouldn't have said yes to this opportunity to uplift, to transform people's minds. Be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You would not be practicing the principles of O2P, only quality people. That you would not have aligned yourself to be a part of a cause that in a historical context, the world will never be the same again. You have something special. You have greatness in you. And when you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know what your limits are. So you act like you don't have any. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. God bless you. God bless your dream. God bless America. Dr. Stan?
Wow. Folks, you've heard masterful speakers. You just heard the Grandmaster. And I'm hungry.
Only thing they can put in front of my name is CD for cornbread.
Whoa, wow. Folks, you've got to go to lesbrown.com. And all those videos he mentioned, by the way, are there on lesbrown.com. It's possible. You know, you deserve. And the speech of the century, it's not over till you win.